All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. 10 o'clock on the East Coast of these once United States. Let's go ahead and throttle up. Excited for today because this morning we're going to open up our full throttle memberships. We have a lot to talk about. We're done with the intro and the trade plan and everything. We are ready to go full throttle. Only 50 memberships, folks. So let me go give you the link right now. We had people email yesterday wanting to get in early. I like firing the starter gun at the same time for everybody. So here we go. Annual memberships only, like I said. And if, I don't know, Thursday morning we don't have our 50 total, I might open some monthlies. But if it's like most full throttles, we're going to get our 50 annual members and we're going to be done. So if this is your first session, go watch the replay on the replay page. It is right there. The link is in the chat box. go.topgunoptions.com/replay-ft. So there's the replay right there. They're all going to be on here, right? You can either click this little drop down here to get access to all the other replays, or you can scroll down here and click, the welcome aboard brief and the day one brief from yesterday. So full throttle annual membership is now open. Go. Quick review of what you get. You get access to the primary brief every Tuesday, the weekly options brief every Wednesday, and then AR, which is every Thursday, accelerated retirement. We have a lot to talk about on Thursday in our accelerated retirement brief. We're going to be talking about psychedelics, man. Got my Maverick Mind shirt on today. So you get access to the 3 live briefs every week. You get access to your manuals that you need to study to get up to speed, and you get access to the 8 live training sessions. Need the one second here. Okay. So you get the 8 training sessions. You get the access to the Hunters, which is our one of our investment clubs right here. So this is called the Hunters. Underneath the members area, you click on Hunters, SDIS. That stands for Self-Directed Investment Squadron. So, man, we got a ton of people in here. So this is where, if you're doing a full throttle annual membership, you get access. Rick, Skip, Paul, very active in here. David, me. I post all my intel in here throughout the day. I post all my trades, so you're going to get access to this. This is not the lifetime membership. That's something completely different all the way over here. It's kind of like lifetime light. You're still paying for all your stuff. You're not a lifetime member, but I throw all my stuff in here as well. So the annual membership is a great deal. Just in snipers alone, yesterday in the S&P 500, which we're going to talk about, you paid for an annual membership. Okay, this is usually close to $6,000 worth of value. You're essentially getting an annual membership for 50% off. Okay, so there you go. Annual memberships are open. If you emailed yesterday, hey, I want an annual membership, now you got it. There's the link. We talked about this yesterday. 90% of trading is emotional. We're going to take the emotion out of your trading. I'm going to show you how to be disciplined, how to manage risk, and that's going to lead to superior execution. Real quick review. We laughed at the smart money yesterday. They suck. They're not that smart. The average hedge fund last year was a 9% return. And here at Top Gun Options, we saw over 150% return, with my performance really ticking off in the fall as people got stupid with volatility, right? So mission objective today, we're done with the intros, the trade plans, and all the basic stuff. We're going to talk intel, man. You're probably sitting here looking at the market going, which way does it want to go? I'm going to show you the things that I look like that kind of show me which way the market's going to go. We're going to take a look at the volatility index. Oil still kind of hanging up there today. We have a lot to talk intelligence-wise. By the end of this week, and maybe even today's brief, you're going to know how to trade options. This ain't hard. It ain't rocket surgery. We got little old ladies in tennis shoes doing this, stay-at-home dads, airline pilots, attorneys, doctors, lawyers, moms, dads, you name it. You're going to know how to do this. And as people start to panic a little bit, we can profit. Okay. And that's where good traders are made, right? Everybody's a genius when the market's been going up for the past 5 months, right? Not really. The only true geniuses are the folks who print money as the market rolls over and gets volatile. That's what we do. Monday, we knocked out. Today, we're going to talk about some options basics. We're going to play some trades today. I'm going to show you some safe trades in case you're sitting here going, man, I have no idea what the hell's going on. Well, when in doubt, we're going to talk about running to MA, M-A. Memberships are open. Tomorrow we're gonna get a little bit more advanced. Not necessarily advanced. We're just going to take that building block approach. We're going to take a look at spreads. Okay. And then Thursday's a big day. Like I said, I got my shirt on. We're going to talk about how you can invest and make potentially a shitload of money like we've been doing in the psychedelic names, and also potentially change lives. There's a ton of politics and big pharma and a lot of stuff going on in the psychedelic space. I'm going to brief potential threats, potential opportunities, and I'm looking forward to Thursday. That's going to be a good one. Quick review of where you are and what you're joining today. You're on the left side of the Chinese wall in our training environment. We have Solo Amazon. We can talk about that on Thursday too, but that's a separate standalone service. It's kind of a gateway drug to see what we do here at Top Gun Options, but we're focused on full throttle. Okay. Once you learn what you're doing, right? Once you do your full throttle training, your 8 videos, you read your manuals, you're in our live trade briefs, you've done some paper trading in the simulator, and now you're ready to deploy real capital. We have our execution arm. We have a couple investment clubs, the Hunters, which you'll get access to as an annual member. And then we can talk, sometime later about maybe joining the lifetime group. You got a lot of stuff as being a lifetime member here at Top Gun Options. Underneath the training arm, full throttle. You're going to get access as soon as you grab your annual membership to 8 training sessions. Okay. Building block approach. These are calls. These are puts. This is a spread. This is an iron condor. And you're really going to get up to speed. We marry that training with these live trade briefs. Right now, you're in what's called the primary live trade brief. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m., you get access to the primary live trade brief. And as soon as I get this out of the way, we're going to knock out a real primary live trade brief. So you're going to see kind of the operations tempo. Like I reminded you yesterday, or pointed out yesterday, you should feel like you're drinking from a fire hose, especially if you're kind of new, or if you're new to Top Gun Options or investing in general or options, should feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. But these are the 8 training sessions, the heart of full throttle training, session 1 through 8. Over in the the handouts tab over there on the right where your control panel is, make sure you download the trade plan. That is just a sweet piece of gear. I gave you the 1-pager and also the long pager. I also gave you access to the OPCL, the Options Pocket Checklist. As I told you yesterday, out of 32 tactics in there, I use about 5. So if you want to get super cosmic in your options trading, you can do it. If you want basic caveman ways to make money, welcome to Top Gun Options. I'm a basic caveman. Trust me, my time in Chicago, I've done some pretty insane type of options tactics, not strategies, until I got to the point where I'm like, well, you can just kind of do this and it's the same thing. Yeah, but this is I sound cool at a cocktail party. Well, knock yourself out. Okay. Live trade briefs. You're in the primary live trade brief. Weekly options is tomorrow. It's more tactical trading. We fired a couple sniper shots yesterday, so those are tactical, shorter-term trades. And then, like I said, AR on Thursday, long-term bullish on the psychedelics, and a couple names that we're going to talk about today. And then, obviously, Solo Amazon is on Monday, and that's a separate service. You can go see for yourself all of our case studies, and I'm not really going to beat that dead horse. You can go check out what we do here. All right, so, the link's right here. It's go.topgunoptions.com/replay-ft. Yes, just full annual memberships. No monthlies. If we don't fill up our annuals by Thursday, I might open a couple monthlies. Why? Good question. Why 50? I don't like a zoo. No offense. I don't like people. I mean, I love people. I love my fellow human beings and souls. I don't love a zoo at Top Gun Options. There are other places that pack people in, man, and the instructors don't answer questions just because there's too many. They actually turn the chat off and they just talk. It's a one-way conversation. Only 50 new members once a quarter because folks want to interact with me, get their questions answered. And when it's just an absolute zoo, that doesn't happen. So that's why we limit our memberships. And to be clear, let me be, blindingly clear. I don't want you. This is a shitty thing to say as a business owner, and it's a smart thing to say as an instructor. I don't want you here forever. You shouldn't be here forever. Now, we've had people here for 14 years because they enjoy the trades, the camaraderie, and all that type of stuff. But here's what I'm getting at. You don't go to, you're not a Top Gun for your career. You go to Top Gun, you go through training, you go back to the fleet. You go back to your fleet squadron. You got the Top Gun patch on your shoulder because you got it. You're smart. You're SMRT, right? So, 6 months, a year, 2 years, you can go do it on your own. My proof that I did my job as an instructor is I get an email from you that says, Wiz, I'm good, man. You can cancel my membership. I know what I'm doing. But I can show you a ton of emails or case studies from people that have done that, and they end up coming back. They're like, dude, I don't like trading solo. Trading solo sucks. Sitting here in your bunny slippers, drinking your coffee, watching Fox Business or CNBC or Bloomberg and just trying to read the Wall Street Journal by yourself. You can do it, but it sucks. But this is why with your annual membership, I give you access to the hunters right here, man. So you don't have to be alone. I mean, right now there's like 15 people in there, and it's a good way. I'm in here throughout the day, so you get access to the hunters. You're not trading in that vacuum. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll talk. We don't need to talk about the lifetime membership now. Just focus on getting your annual membership, getting on board. I can tell you about the lifetime program down the road. Okay. Any questions on the annual membership? Okay. Okay, good. Awesome, Rebecca. Welcome aboard. Yeah, and I know there was a lot of pent up from last. It's funny. Each quarter, man, we get 50 and we close. There are people like, hey, I want to join. I'm like, all right, we'll see you in 2 months when I do a full throttle. So if you don't get on board now, we'll see you maybe next quarter. All right, that's it. Let's go. How long did that take? Good. All right. I wanted it to be 10 minutes, and that was pretty damn close. So now, if you're new to Top Gun Options, welcome aboard, because I'm going to treat this like a regular trade brief. Here we go. It still shocks me that I'm sitting in a live trade brief in April of 2024 talking about World War III. Donald Trump is going to get us into World War III. Remember, there are people who accuse you of doing exactly what they're doing. So whether it was Joe Biden saying, don't, to Vladimir Putin, whether it was Joe Biden saying, don't, to the Houthis, or whether it was Joe Biden saying, don't, to Iran, don't, it isn't working, hasn't worked. Okay? So it's I was about to say it's comical. It's not funny. It's not funny that the world doesn't, that we literally are the laughing stock of the world. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Ooh, they told us don't. Ronald Reagan is spitting in his grave. He also told us, well, that's not going to happen. Afghanistan wouldn't fall over a weekend. It fell over a weekend. You're not going to see helicopters on the embassy like Vietnam. That's exactly what fucking happened. There were helicopters on the embassy in Afghanistan evacuating our people. Make it by the airport by this date and this time, and if not, we're going to leave you behind. So, ladies and gentlemen, why am I rambling about this? Because this is bad. Okay? Israel is still kind of spinning around what they're going to do in response. Airlines have canceled flights throughout the region. We are told there is an imminent attack. Now you can see why. We're going to talk about this in a little bit, but the VIX, the volatility index. Welcome to the world of options trading. The volatility index, if you want to sound cool at a cocktail party, say the word volatility. It's uncertainty, folks. This index goes up when things are uncertain. So look at the VIX for the past 6 months. See this? Nothing. Not even, I call it the heart rate monitor, right? This has been a heart attack. Nothing has been going on that's bad. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on, Wiz. War in Europe. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I'm a student of history. War in Europe. There's war in Europe right now. Now there's war in the Middle East. Oh, so why? And let's go look at this. So as the VIX has been flat for the last 6 months, why? Because the markets had a rip your face off rally. The volatility index, the VIX, goes up when something is uncertain or unknown happens. What's been known for the past 6 months? War in Europe, raging inflation, high interest rates. Yeah, that all sounds bad, Wiz. Why wouldn't the VIX go up? Because it's known. The VIX only pops when things are unknown, right? So welcome to the world of being an options trader. For the past 6 months, 5 to 6 months, everything's shitty, folks. Inflation is raging. Interest rates are cranked all the way up, and there's war. Yeah, but that's known. Precisely. What isn't known? Well, that World War III was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen because Joe Biden said don't. And I just thought that, people listened to him. So now the VIX is alive. And let's open up the radar scope of the VIX a little bit more. Let's go a year of the VIX. Ooh, so this is the fall. Do you remember when I just showed you my personal brokerage account and when it printed money? It printed money when the VIX really popped. Okay, so this, ladies and gentlemen, in the fall wasn't World War III. Bonds, the 10-year was approaching 4.5 to 5. And Jerome Powell was like, hey, man, inflation's raging. I don't know if we're going to see any interest rate cuts. The market freaked out. And then in the beginning of December, Jerome Powell said what? I think we're going to cut interest rates a ton of times next year. And the market rallied and the VIX died. Now where are we? We'll talk about inflation in a couple minutes here. But I don't think we're getting any cuts this year, man. The CPI, the inflation index that the Fed stares at, has gone up the past 3 months in a row. So we're starting to see a confluence of events here. World War III, raging inflation that the Fed hasn't tamed, and they might not be cutting rates. I think they should raise rates, but who am I? Let's open up the radar chart of the VIX even more. How about even more? I wanted to show you COVID. The VIX at 90. Hey, this is when we're all going to die from a scandemic or a plandemic. Joe Biden still hasn't held China to account. I'd give that dude an invoice for like $2 trillion. But anyway, looking at this chart, folks, it shows you that the VIX is a heart rate monitor. It reverts to its mean. Okay? I have a saying, or there is a saying. I think I've been saying it for the longest time, but it's a saying. When volatility is cheap, you buy it. You get bullish. When volatility is expensive, it pops, you sell it. This is why yesterday in the Welcome Aboard brief, I told you at the operational level when I talk in the United States, I loved government shutdowns. Oh my God, the government's going to shut down. Yay or boo? It opened. That was free money. So right now, we are bullish on volatility right now. We are bullish on the VIX going up. We have a trade that we placed last week because we knew the attacks were going to happen. It's currently up $4,000. Okay. Now we could take some profits on that $4,000 in a week. one volatility trade last week is up $4,000. There's your annual membership in Full Throttle. Now, we could either, which we'll talk about, let me bring the VIX back up. We could either take our profits and close that, or as we start to get tactical towards the end of the brief and trade, let it ride. It just depends on what we think is going to go on. So we made $4,000. We put on a bullish trade on volatility last week that is up $4,000. We could close it and take the 4 and get ready to get bearish on volatility and pound it into the dirt. But I would not do that yet. Why? Because of all of this. Okay. If you're Israel, the state of Iran, which is nothing but run by cowards, the Iranian people, no problem with the Iranian people. The mullahs could disappear tomorrow and the world would be a better place. But if you're the state of Israel, how do you let the state of Iran, who is sworn to your destruction, who says, when we get nukes, you're not even going to exist anymore, Israel. So, Joe Biden, take the win. I told Netanyahu to take the win. What's a win? 300 cruise missiles, drones, UAVs were launched from Iran and Iraq and Syria and their other shitholes. The win is nobody really died. An Arab girl, which is interesting, an Arab girl is near death. So let me get this straight. Just because they didn't land the punch doesn't mean we shouldn't punch back. In a way, Iran has really shined their ass, haven't they? We launched 300 of these things, and 99% of them didn't even make it there. So idiots like Joe Biden and Democrats tell you what? They believe in proportional warfare. Well, they only did this, so you didn't do this. If you believe in proportional warfare, you're an idiot. You don't know how warfare is supposed to work. Warfare is the failure of the human condition. It's an absolute horror. Souls killing souls. We're that dumb? We're that cavemanish that we can't work something out? Well, Wiz, you're right. But Israel, Arabs can't stand each other. They want to wipe each other off the map. So they're going to get to, it's the ultimate failure of the human condition. If, God forbid, we get to the worst failure of human condition, it needs to be as violent and horrific as humanly possible and quick. So it stops. Look at Ukraine and Russia. It's death by 1,000 cuts. It's a meat grinder. It's World War I trench warfare. Joe Biden, NATO, was half pregnant. Well, I'm not sending tanks. That would be World War III. Why does that dude whisper? He's creepy and he's weird. It'll be World War III. Today, my administration's we're sending tanks. I thought you said it would be World War III. We're not sending fighter jets. That would be World War III. Today, my administration is sending fighter jets. So the ramble, let's come to a conclusion here. Ladies and gentlemen, Israel will do something. There's no way Netanyahu, Gantz, and the other dude, the three dudes running the war cabinet, can let this go unanswered. Okay? Technically, they have a get-out-of-jail-free card. They should hit every one of their nuke things. I get they're buried deep in mountains, and we didn't give them the bunker busters that we promised we would. But you don't hatch inside of a cave in a mountain. There's entrances, and there's a way to get there. Did you not see Top Gun Maverick? So I think they're going to hit something. This is why the market is not snapping back right now, and the VIX is staying elevated. We are waiting for Israel's retaliation. Okay? So the market right now, oil, is in a holding pattern. I get Joe Biden saying take the win, right? And, Israel right now could technically go to the world and say, you know what? We could level Iran right now for what they did to us, right? We hit We didn't hit an embassy. We didn't hit a consulate. We hit a barracks where a couple Iranian generals were planning to kill more Israelis. I didn't attack Iran, and we killed generals who were actively trying to kill Israel. That's a legitimate strike. It wasn't an embassy. It wasn't a consulate. That's a lie. And then they attacked us from Iran, from their own soil. If Israel is playing five-dimensional chess, they could say to the world, we're not going to level Iran. We reserve the right to, but we're going to finish Gaza. We are going to invade Rafah, and we are going to get rid of the last Hamas. You guys were giving us shit a couple weeks ago about this. Now, shut up. So I don't know, man. I'm not in the Israeli war cabinet. I talked to some of my buddies who are a little in the know with what's going on. They fully expect Israel to strike back, and it's well within their power. Okay, so we're in a holding pattern right now. Look at the S&P 500 right now for today. It's doing what? Nothing. Look at this. Nothing. Yesterday afternoon, as the market imploded, it was on rumors that last night, our time, was supposed to be an Israeli counterattack. It didn't happen. So we are plumbing the depths down here and just hanging. We smashed through the 100-day moving average yesterday. Okay? And I'm about to tell you something that I haven't said in 6 months. The market doesn't like living in between moving averages. You see the green, blue, and red? These moving averages act like magnets. The market gets pulled down or up to them. I call this no man's land. In the white space between moving averages, the market does not live. Let me show you what I mean. Let's look in the old days when the market used to be. See back here? It would snap up to, I call it the human circulatory system. The market likes, they're magnets, period. That's all I can tell you, is I know for a fact the market, because it's run by humans and AI that's going to kill us all. They're programmed to seek these moving averages. And when you're in white space here, it's either down to the next one or snap back up to the previous one. Everybody give me a vertical head nod. Okay, I've been doing this for 3 decades. These moving averages are targets. Okay, so right now we're hovering in a little bit of the unknown, which is not good. Let me finish, and then we'll get tactical, because we can be bipolar trading volatility. We're bullish volatility right now. We're up $4,000 in a week. We can also start thinking to get bearish on volatility. I don't think Israel's going to nuke Iran. I don't think they're going to go massive, right? But when, and I have to say this, or if, because I'm not sure, when or if they strike back, that will be known. If they hit Iran, the VIX might continue to spike, but guess what's going to happen? The market has short-term memory loss. It's over. They struck back. It's a known. So unlike most retail traders who don't know what they're doing, here at Top Gun Options, you're going to learn this shit. Holy shit, Israel just struck back Iran. The market imploded and the volatility index spiked. That's when a guy like me, my mouth starts watering and I get ready to get bearish on volatility. That doesn't make sense. They hit Iran. They already did it. It's in the past. Pay attention to current events. VIX is going to smash. All right. A little bit more strategic, then we'll get operational. The U.S. Army's ability to maneuver rapidly on the battlefield may be over. I watched a video on TikTok, because that's what our soldiers do when they're bored. They make TikTok videos. This soldier was walking around asking, like, I don't know, their platoon, brigade, whatever the term is, like, why'd you join the Army? First of all, just about everybody on that video were disgusting fat bodies. Did the Army, I know they lowered their recruiting standards for brains, but body? These people, it was embarrassing. This video was embarrassing to begin with. But when I contrast that video with some of the Telegram channels that I monitor or some of the stuff I see on X, There's no way on God's green earth our army could do what's going on in Ukraine and Russia right now. The meat grinder, drones attacking, and hand-to-hand combat and shooting people in foxholes. We're fucked. Our safe space, trans, non-binary pronoun brigade, we would get destroyed. Do not sit here and tell me like we have superior technology. Quantity has a quality of its own. All our Gucci missiles and shit like that. I looked at the math. That attack was like $1 billion. The UK, the United States, and Israel spent about $1 billion. Get bullish on Raytheon, by the way. Spent $1 billion in missiles. I think Iran probably spent 100 grand with all the shit they sent. So drone swarms, ladies and gentlemen, are the future. You're telling me we're going to shoot $1 million missiles at $1,000 drones. You do the math. So why am I ranting about this? Because I read this stuff, folks, and I'm telling you, we are in a lot of trouble militarily in this country. Do not preach to me about how Gucci our technology is. A drone swarm doesn't give a shit about your F-35 at this point, period. So when, not if, China starts moving to Taiwan, it's going to be bad. We always fight the last war, ladies and gentlemen. We're focused on these Gucci F-35s. When you got factories in the middle of Russia, you got factories in the middle of Iran cranking out these drones. We are not ready for the next war, I guarantee you. Tom, absolutely. We need to start really building our laser technology. I could not agree more. Okay, let's get operational. And I want to stay on timeline here. Hot inflation report derails case for June rate cut. Ladies and gentlemen, the inflation is raging. The BLS, it used to stand for the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The BLS stands for Biden Labor Statistics. Have you noticed in this election year that every jobs number is great? The jobs market sucks, Wiz. It's all part-time jobs because people are getting 4 or 5 jobs because they have to pay. They can't make ends meet. And there has been a net negative of full-time jobs. And the majority of the jobs are going to illegal immigrants. Oh, you haven't dug into the jobs numbers and read the ugly details. You just read the headline number. And you watch the Biden administration walk out to microphones and go, yeah, the jobs market's fantastic. And if it sucks, it only sucks for you. Same thing with the inflation number. They can't not tell us that inflation is raging. They're trying to. They gaslight us, folks, right? I mean, stuff like this. Where was that one? It was something like, inflation is not raging, and if it's raging, it's only for you. They're gaslighting us. So the inflation numbers coming in hot right now are clearly a lie. What do you mean a lie? They're lower? No, wake up. They're raging. If they're actually, quote, being honest that inflation has been going up slightly for the past couple of months, you know it's a lie. It's actually worse. You can Google this, folks. It's a federal law that you have to report these donations. The last time I looked, my mastermind group, like out of the 100 economists at the BLS, 95% have actively donated to both the Obama and Biden campaigns. So tell me that this government employee that can't get fired is not going to fudge the numbers. One of the jobs reports in front of the Obama reelection was, after a year investigation, they concluded it was an absolute lie. Nobody gets fired or nothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, this market rally for the past 5 months has been based on what? What Jerome Powell, our Federal Reserve chief, said in December, right here. Jerome Powell said, you know what? I think we can start thinking about cutting some interest rates. Boom. The market never looked back until now. Now it's starting to settle into the market that the dude ain't going to be cutting interest rates anytime soon. And it sucks, folks. We were told what? It's COVID. That's why inflation's raging, or supply chain issues, or oh no, it's the Putin price hike. He invaded Ukraine. That's why inflation's high. You mean not the trillions in government spending? The Inflation Reduction Act caused massive amounts of inflation. Even Joe Manchin, that idiot from West Virginia, who begrudgingly, he's like, yeah, it did. Joe Biden, Janet Yellen, our Treasury Secretary, and Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chief, told us for a year to a year and a half, almost 2 years, that inflation was transitory. Typical Democrat. I don't know what your definition of the word is. I don't know what your definition of transitory is, but it's 2 years. So the team that lied to us about inflation being transitory is stuck. Okay. Yeah, exactly. The probability of a June rate hike or a cut is at zero. It should be at zero. But look at the Wall Street Journal recently. By the stock market's inflation freakouts. Look at this. On the way up, ladies and gentlemen, we bounced off this 20-day moving average. Until when? We didn't. But the Wall Street Journal, this article was dated what? Like kind of recently. It's saying by the by the inflation freakouts. But investors' panicked first reaction overlooks some underlying reasons, right? I'll save you. I'll give you the cliff notes of this. They break down inflation and how it's raging and everything like that. But there's strong fundamentals underneath this thing. A creation of 300,000 jobs. What the Wall Street Journal neglects to tell you is that all of those jobs went to illegal immigrants. They're also saying, well, AI, NVIDIA, super microcomputer, all of that stuff is great news. That's what's powering us higher. By these inflation freakouts. I do not agree with that at all. So that was a couple weeks ago. What was that? April 10th, 6 days ago. Now, yesterday, the Wall Street Journal. Here's what higher for longer means for the stock market. Stocks are trading near record levels, but some investors say further gains may be more difficult. You think? You think. So now they're starting to change their tune as well. There goes the S&P 500. See it. Buy calls on the S&P, or I'm sorry, on the VIX right now because we're rolling over here. And we have our bearish trade, this hedge out to October. That's up $6,000 since last week. So look at that. This trade is already up $400, the VIX that we put on last week in our brief today. Burn, baby, burn. So showing you how we can make money as the market goes down. So higher for longer, ladies and gentlemen, is bearish. What does that mean, higher for longer? Jerome Powell and the Fed are going to have to keep interest rates up here, 5.5, whatever we're at, for longer. They can't cut. And this rally, folks, was based on them cutting this year. I don't know if we get any cuts this year, to be honest with you. So, not good news. Oh, here's the headline I wanted to share with you. This is them gaslighting us. What's wrong with the economy? It's you, not the data. I want to frame this. I want to frame that headline. So, I was at Sun and Fun this weekend. I talk to people. I go to charity events. I do a bunch of shit. I talk to humans. I talk to Americans. Ain't nobody that I talk to like everything's great in the economy. I'm crushing it. I'm talking to people working multiple jobs. I'm talking to business owners that are laying off staff and can't make ends meet because the price of everything's through the roof. But it's just them. You're what's wrong. It's insane. Okay, real quick. Mixed financials. Goldman Sachs crushed it. Bank of America and Morgan. Let's go look at some of these names. Goldman Sachs, but Goldman Sachs also crushed it based on what? Trading. They didn't crush it based on anything really good. Bank of America this morning. Slam. So, and then I think it was Morgan Stanley. think it's was that tomorrow or is it today? Oh, before market open. Yeah. They had some semi decent earnings. Wells Fargo. So the financials, ladies and gentlemen, are starting to roll over. If you subscribe to Dow theory, financials and transports, right? A FedEx, a shipping company that moves commerce, and banks, which provide the liquidity for the economy. Financials and transports tend to lead us in and out of bad or good, right? So the financials, folks, are starting to roll over. Even Goldman Sachs, once you dig into the Goldman Sachs numbers, they weren't good. The only reason Goldman Sachs did good is because they're trading their ass off. Okay, it wasn't their investment banking or their fixed income, currency, and commodity. So interesting. We might look to get bearish on these financials. If you don't want to pick individual financials to get bearish on, you trade the XLF. Look at that. Wow. The XLF is a basket of financial stocks. Anybody see what's going on with the XLF right now? It's starting to implode after this monster run. So there's our 5-month monster run in the S&P and financials, and they're starting to roll over. Higher for longer is not bullish for the financial sector. So if we have some time today, as we get tactical, we might look to pound the financials into the dirt here with the XLF. Apple's rotten. I told you to get out of Apple. Apple will be destroyed when China invades Taiwan and they outlaw the iPhone. And I got to be honest, folks, if you're Xi Jinping and it's either going to be Trump or Biden, when would you? I can't even believe that. The dude's 80. I can't. I can't even think into the future here, but let's do it. Would you invade Taiwan under Joe and Kamala when there's war in Europe and war in the Middle East, or would you wait for a potential Donald Trump presidency who battled the shit out of China? You love or hate Donald Trump, folks. I can't stand the man personally. I support the policies. Isn't that funny? So Democrats who had no problem with the president of the United States taking advantage of an intern. This was what, decades before the Me Too movement? But what did they tell me? I can separate the man's personal foibles from his policies. So what he did, but when it comes to Trump, their face melts off. I can't separate, he paid off a porn star. And you didn't have a problem with oral sex in the Oval Office. The most powerful man in the world and a young, impressionable intern. You had no problem with that. Well, I could separate his. Gross. Anyway, this is bad for Apple. I told you a long time ago, Apple will get destroyed when, not if, it's illegal in China. I'm old enough to remember during COVID, the Donald Trump trade war, they actually had a press conference. The State Department of China, whatever it's called, Foreign Ministries, like, here is the list of super bad U.S. companies that if things get worse, will boot out of our country. Apple. Any questions? Tim Cook got on his knee pads and went to the Oval Office, Google this, had lunch with the president to beg him not to fire the next round of tariffs because it was right before Christmas. And Trump's like, I don't want to destroy Christmas. I'm a good dude. I love Santa. Not going to hit them with another round of tariffs. Do you remember that? I do. Apple is rotten. Jim Cramer tells you to buy Apple, don't trade it. I've told you the exact opposite because Jim Cramer's an idiot. You trade the shit out of Apple. Do not be long-term bullish. This thing it's got 150 all over it. I guarantee you. It's at the top of my bearish whiteboard over there is Apple. What else is going on here? This is all for Thursday. We'll talk about this stuff on Thursday. Juliana Mercer. I love Juliana. She's a Marine. We're going to brief all this stuff on Thursday. We have a lot to talk about with psychedelics, man. This is good stuff. You got it, Chris. There's an actual index, right? The inverse Kramer. Okay, so let's get tactical. Now we're going to get tactical and we're going to trade. SOT, strategic, operational. Now we get tactical and trade. If you showed up to this full throttle brief and at the beginning we're like, where's the trades? I don't want to hear all this stuff. You need to not join full throttle because you're going to be miserable. You probably already are miserable because you're a very tactical trader. Daniel, I couldn't agree more, man. No matter who you vote for, we are all going to get screwed. Absolutely. April 15th yesterday, I love Joe Biden talking about, and Mark Cuban and these people. I paid my fair share of taxes, unlike some former president. I'm like, Joe Biden's son is a tax criminal, owes millions of dollars to the IRS, and you're going to give somebody else shit about taxes. Okay, dude. Now let's get tactical. Here we go. So let's start with this. Yesterday, I had a poll that said, are you bullish, bearish, volatile, neutral to the end of the year? It literally was a stock market. Everybody was all over the place. And that's what makes a market. Remember, the market is rarely present. What do I mean by that? The market is not sitting here today, especially this market. Where was it? Here. The market has been sitting in the future. What future? Where Jerome Powell has a press conference that says, we are cutting interest rates today. Rip your face off rally. This rally, ladies and gentlemen, has been pulled forward or back. I never understood that. People are like, this was pulled forward. I'm like, I think that's backwards, but maybe I'm inverted. Here's what I'm getting at. This, I call it the MacGyver rally. It's up here on string, a paperclip, and bullshit. It's up here on hope. Stocks trade on hope and fear. Hope we're going to get some interest rate cuts. Now it's going down based on fear. Fear, first of all, of World War III, but also fear of the article I just showed you of higher for longer. Folks, interest rates hovering up here destroys the housing market. Interest rates and inflation hovering up here should start eating into corporate earnings. It hasn't yet. Why? There isn't one corporation that hasn't raised prices and said, what? If we're getting destroyed, we're not going to get destroyed. We're passing it on to the consumer, which of course Joe loves. I'm trying to order today grocery stores to cut prices because they're price gouging. Go fuck yourself, dude. Those groceries travel on a truck and a ship or whatever. Those materials, did you see oil, Joe? You drained the strategic petroleum reserve and you're not refilling it. And now your creepy don't is getting us into World War III. So these they ain't price gouging, dude. The cost of everything is up. So here's what I want to start talking about. If you're confused, I have no idea which way this market is going to go, which is a valid answer. I think certain things, which I'll tell you, but let's do this. Let's go out into the future. Let's agree that we're not in the market today. The market today, I think the VIX should be a hell of a lot higher and the market should be a hell of a lot lower. It doesn't matter what I think. I'm going to teach you to trade the market we have, not the one you want. Okay, so the market we have is kind of up here, rolling over after a monster rally. Folks, we are only, let me do some quick mental math. We are only about 3-ish% off our highs. I'm old enough to remember what bear markets are, folks. What's the definition generally of a bear market? 20%. So a 3%, I don't even want to use the word correction, folks. This ain't nothing. If that looks violent to you, you just started trading in November. This ain't nothing. I remember when I went to my old firm in Chicago after the financial crisis, and Ben Bernanke, the Fed chief, jumped in to save capitalism. QE, QE1, QE2, TARP, QE3. The Fed printed money to keep the stock market up. I remember talking to some of my old partners, and they're like, looking at the trading floor, they're like, dude, I'm terrified. Why? These college graduates, these kids, we have a whole crop of new traders that have never seen a down market. right? So we're kind of feeling that right now. I'm starting, my phone starts lighting up. Again, everybody's a genius when the market goes straight up. I don't need to join Top Gun options. I'm smart. The market's going straight up. And then it's fun and fun. And my phone right now is like, dude, so, hey, man, haven't talked to you in a while. What are you doing right now? So let me put all that behind us. I have a saying, when in doubt, run to Ma. If you don't know what to do right now, the best thing, first of all, let me start with that. Cash. Cash, ladies and gentlemen, is a position. No trade at all is sometimes the best trade. Cash. I'm about 2080 right now. I'm about 20% in my Amazon and psychedelics, and I'm about 80% cash. As we started going up here, I started pairing my bullish positions and just I'm in Microsoft and Amazon. We got a Boeing position that's underwater that we can talk about too, but Boeing ain't going out of business. So I'm about 80-20 right now. So before I even talk about we're going to talk about 80-20. Find your ratio. But for the majority of my trading career, folks, am never more than 50%. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a registered investment advisor. I'm not a broker dealer. I don't play one on TV. I'm me. I keep at least 50% in cash. Why? For these moments. If you're 80-20 the other way, I'm 80% in stocks and ETFs and options, and I only got a little bit of cash, you're in trouble. Okay? In my personal opinion, you can do whatever you want. You're the tick, baby. You're the trader in command, not me. I'm telling you how I fly and fight my own airplane. Okay, so before I talk about let's talk about in general. Wiz, let me put this out here on the right side of the chart. A question mark. If right now you have no idea what to do or anything like that, hang in cash. Period. Don't do anything. Especially with interest rates where they are, you could, like the old days, park your money in a bank right now and get a new toaster and 5%. That's a no-brainer. So step 0, if you don't know what to do, is cash. Now, step 1, if you want to be in equities, is Ma. And Ma is Microsoft and Amazon. Period. When the market is in doubt, it runs to quality. It starts fleeing names. Bitcoin, Mara, it's NVIDIA, SMC, all the bullshit that got us up here, people are starting to pare back or flee. Where do they end up running? Microsoft and Amazon. We can talk a little solo Amazon on Thursday, but ladies and gentlemen, cash has to go somewhere. If you're at Axe Capital, if you're a trader on Wall Street looking to make a big bonus this year, you don't get paid sitting in cash. So professional money managers, you ready for this? Get paid to manage money. So that capital has to go somewhere, and it tends to go to quality. So right now, if you're like, man, I'm just itching to do some trading, I'd be running to Ma. But based on time, I'm not going to do that. Let's just look at Amazon because I want to talk about volatility. So Amazon, solid run, and it's not rolling over as much as the S&P 500. But we also, when is it? Next Thursday? When's Amazon earnings? My son's birthday, April 25th, after market close, we get some Amazon earnings. I think they are absolutely going to crush it. Amazon is the gift that keeps on giving, man. Look at after the last earnings, rip your face off rally. After the last earnings, rip your face off rally. They literally are the Death Star and they print money. Okay? Microsoft. And I could show you how to do long-term bullish trades on these names. Same thing with Microsoft. Up and to the right. A little bit more volatility in Microsoft. So I prefer Amazon. Okay. So Amazon, and I'm a little torn because I want to talk about. I'm going to do this tomorrow. We're going to talk about Amazon and Microsoft because just based on stuff that I'm hearing, and let me look at my mastermind group. I would prefer to talk about volatility because if Israel is going to strike back, it's going to be sooner rather than later. So let's shift Microsoft and Amazon to tomorrow and get back to our volatility. All right, so let's talk volatility and VIX. Ladies and gentlemen, the VIX rate now, it's essentially flat, but like I said, we are elevated. This was the fall when it flared up on interest rate concerns. It got as high as the low 20s. So to me, on the verge of World War III, somebody look up oil right now. Oil rallying, financials rolling over, higher for longer, and potential Israel attacking the country of Iran. I think the VIX has more to run. 85, that's what I thought, $85. So I right now have 75 contracts of a bull call spread. And this is out to June. I went out to June last week I think this was 2 weeks ago. Why? Because I wanted to, there's a shit show coming. Didn't necessarily know about, what was going to happen. Just kind of that seat of the pants, like, you know what? Something's a coming. Now, we also have on a bearish trade on the S&P 500 out to October for the same reason, a shit show. The news makes me want some psilocybin. That's exactly right. This trade, ladies and gentlemen, if the market keeps imploding, could make over $20,000, and we're already up to $6,000. So on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, are essentially two bearish trades that we placed over the past couple weeks, and I've paid for 3 years of your annual membership. So let's, for people who are new, do some new VIX. If you think, let's just take a look at the calendar. Let's go out to like May 3rd, May 8th. That's the next expiration we have. Let's open up our strikes. And again, this is like options basics. A call option, ladies and gentlemen, is a contract. It gives me the right to buy or sell, but mainly buy something, volatility index, at a certain price by a certain date. Okay, so I'm going to open up my strikes here. I'm going to scroll down and look at some realistic VIX pricing here. Let me go to the regular May expiration real quick. I want to see some stuff. Wow. All right, this is better. Holy shit. What am I looking at? Whoa. All right, so this is an options chain, ladies and gentlemen. On the left side are the calls, on the right side are the puts. Generally bullish, generally bearish. I'll teach you in options training. We'll take a deep dive, but for the sake of time, I'm going to cruise a little bit. Right now, as we sit in this live trade brief, the VIX is at 19. Okay, so here's the strikes right here in the middle. See all these? These are called the strikes. So 19 right here is called at the money. Okay, so the VIX trading at 19, these call options are at the money. I want to scroll down a little bit here and show you these strikes, 20, 21, are called out of the money. Anything under 19 are called in the money. Makes sense, right? If it's an 18, 17, 16, they're in the money. They're making money. These are out of the money, meaning the VIX has to pop for these call options down here to make money. So out until the middle of May, ladies and gentlemen, look at the 20 strike. I mean, we're almost there. $250,000 in open interest. The 22 strike, 100,000. The 25 strike, 190,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, the market options buyer, look at this, the 30 strike, 144,000, folks. So there are traders out into the future in the middle of, holy crap. Look down here. Look at the 35 strike. That's almost, the VIX almost doubling by next month. So these are, and again, these aren't necessarily, I use the word trade, right? A trade, I better make money on it. A hedge, I don't mind if I lose money. Wait a minute. Did you just say you don't mind if you lose money? Yeah, because a hedge, ladies and gentlemen, is protecting my longs. I got long-term Amazon, I got long-term psychedelics. If the market implodes, they're both going to get hit a little bit. So why don't I buy some insurance? I don't sit here at my desk each month and first of all, my USAA bill is on debit. I was going to say, I don't write a check every month to USAA and sit here and go, what a waste of money. No. I pay my insurance because, God forbid, I need it, right? Why is divorce expensive? It's worth it. So look at these call options, folks. Look at the 40 strike down here, almost 200,000, the 47 and a half. 200. So just even if you don't know anything about options, folks, you're sitting here looking at this upside call activity like, holy shit, the VIX is at 19. Somebody's thinking that the VIX is going to super pop. When's the last time we even had? Look at that. This time last year, ladies and gentlemen, the VIX popped up to 30. What was going on? Just war in Ukraine. Now we have literally war in the Middle East. So if you believe that the market's going to continue to roll over and the VIX is going to get a spike, now would be a good time to get bullish on volatility. Now, if you're sitting here going, well, Wiz, it looks like the horse already left the barn. No, it didn't. I mean, yeah, we got a nice trade making money here right now. But if I think it's going to keep going higher, there's no time like the present to get bullish on volatility. So let's go out. Let's go out to May expiration. What's realistic? I don't know. I mean, I definitely think 20 is realistic in a month. We could do something like this. Let me scroll down. We could buy, if you think we're going to get a spike in volatility, a realistic trade would be, for example, to buy maybe 50 of the May 24 20 calls. Okay. Holy crap, Wiz, $7,000. Well, watch what I'm going to do. We could sell 50 of the 30 strike call. And if you don't know anything about options trading, just hang out for a second. So instead of spending over $7,000, this would only be 4. Wiz, I don't have that kind of money. I don't know. Do 25 contracts. Do half that, and you're only spending $2,000. Do 10 contracts, folks. That's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. But if if you just want some potential insurance, you could buy the 20 strike calls. They're pretty expensive, right? Buying 25 of the 20 strike calls is about $3,500. Well, how about go up to the 25 strike? How about if we buy 25 of the 25 strike calls? Now it's only about $2,000. Okay. And again, to lower your cost basis, you could sell an upper strike call. I will take care of teaching you all this stuff in Full Throttle training. But look at this one, folks. If you buy 25 of the May 25 calls and sell 25 of the 30 calls, it's only $650. Okay? Does everybody understand that? This is what I would do right now. Let me look in my group. Any questions on this? You could do that too, Aaron. You could go down here and you could do a bull put spread on the VIX, right? I just didn't want to confuse people, but looks like we top out at 15. Look at this. You see here, 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 here. It's all 15. So you could go out to May and you could do a bull put spread, as Arrow suggests. You could sell a 15 put. Let's just put, I don't know, 25 of them in here, right? And buy a lower strike put, like, I don't know, the 10. You could absolutely do that bull put spread. And again, folks, if you're kind of sitting here going, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. These are called spreads. Okay. I will do a better job talking. Oops, sorry. The thing was paused. I could sell 25 of the 15 put and buy the 10 put. This would be a bull put spread on volatility. You could do that too. You could do these things together, Arrow, as you know, and that's called a bullish double vertical. Okay. But let me go back to the bull call spread, and I want to place this trade. I will do the 20, 25 bull call spread. I'll do 50 of these. Or no, I was about 75. The other trade I had 75. I'll do 75 of these. Okay, let me grab a screenshot of this because I will send out an email alert. That's one of the benefits you get. If you're not in the live trade brief, I send out an email with the trade and also, obviously, the replay when we do that. Okay, so I'm going to fire this trade. And since it's a debit, meaning I'm coming out of pocket, I'm probably going to have to go closer to the ask, what they are asking for this trade. So as you can see live, I'm putting this trade right there in the hunters. And then over here, I put it live in the trades only thread for the lifetime folks. Okay. Let's go back over to the trade and see about getting filled. I'm probably going to have to walk it on up. And since we did get a good spike out of this trade, I'm going to go ahead and close that one. But I'm going to get filled on this one. See, the ask is up here at 59 cents. Mid-market is 54. Probably going to have to walk this up a couple pennies. I'll go in between the mid and the ask to try and get filled. There we go. And let's close the trade that we did last week for 4,200 bucks. Let's take our profits in that trade since we have a new VIX trade established. Why? This one was, hey man, I didn't know the whole Israel thing was going to flare up during the life of this trade. It flared up. I made money. It hit my profit target. Okay. Making 4,200 bucks in a week or two or whatever. Taking $4,200 profit. Have new VIX trade on above. Again, this goes immediately to my lifetime members. It's an app on their phone. They could be on a chairlift on the beach. This is kind of the junior lifetime. I gotta be near a computer to do this. Okay. Any questions on the VIX? Okay. Just looking through my group to make sure I'm not missing anything here. Any questions on volatility and the VIX? Now, let me finish with this. We're going to be Johnny on the spot getting ready to get, you ready for this? Bearish on volatility. Let the attack happen. If it happens, if we go Thursday, Friday, I would expect, I mean, I keep hearing it's imminent. Define imminent. Is it like transitory inflation? If we don't get an attack, or they actually come out and say, you know what, we're gonna, we're gonna pick our time and place, and it doesn't sound like it's gonna happen soon, I would get out of the bullish volatility trade, and we're going to get bearish. And depend if an attack happens and it's not super bad. I don't even know the definition of that. Here's what I'm getting at. Once it is known, once bombs hit and everything like this, you might get a little further spike in the VIX, but get ready to sell it. Get ready to get bearish. I'm telling you, folks, I've done this for a long time. Once something's known, it's known, and the VIX goes down. The Brexit vote. Oh, my God, the Brexit vote. They voted to leave. Get bearish on volatility. Boom. Wait, but they voted to leave. That's bad news. It doesn't matter, dude. It's known. Same thing with the government shutdown. Same thing with a bunch of other events. When I have a date for something bad that's going to happen or good, trade volatility. Now, we don't have a date for the strike. I don't even think Netanyahu, Gantz, and the third guy, the Three Stooges, I guarantee you they're sitting in their war council still trying to figure out what to do. They haven't said, by Friday, you're going to know something. So this is a little bit of Kentucky windage, man. You need to, I gave us a month on this bullish volatility trade to see. So we're covered for the next month. Taking profits on the one we already did, $4,000. There's your annual membership. And then this one is the Israeli potential strike. One more time. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to get out of the bullish volatility trade and get bearish. And even if it does happen, I will most likely get bearish, because God forbid the retaliation is no shit like World War III. I mean, if it's like we leveled Tehran and their nuke strikes, and Iran tells Hezbollah and Syria and the Houthis to invade, if it's ugly and gets worse, we'll stay bullish on volatility and we'll print money as the world ends. Does everybody understand this? I agree, Rick. Hopefully Israel is smart enough not to give a date. I was reading today in the journal that Netanyahu actually gave a date for the Rafah thing. I'm like, are you stupid? Did we not learn this stuff? We give a date like we're going to be pulling out of somewhere. It's, again, people who know nothing about fighting wars are fighting wars. It's embarrassing, and it's a disgrace. Other questions, concerns? The date is pretty soon, tomorrow or come summer. Exactly. You bet, Sandra. You're welcome. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, I got to get going too, folks. Here you go. And my phone buzzed a couple times throughout the brief, which means the annual memberships are going. So here's the link to join, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, 50 memberships for Full Throttle. The replay page for day 2, or the replay for day 2 is going to be up here on the replay page shortly. I'm going to email out to my members, not the free folks, the VIX trade and kind of a summary of what we do. You need to join to be able to start getting the benefits of being here. $29.95 with one volatility trade, folks, from last week. I paid for your annual membership. With our sniper shots, you can pay for your annual membership. This is a steal. It's usually about $59.40, round up. All of this stuff on your screen is $6,000 worth of value. But for Full Throttle, I'm going to hook you up $29.95. And if you're in the Hunters, when you join your $29.95, you'll get access to your Hunters. Underneath members area, just click on Hunters right there and get in here in the Hunters. And I'll have my sniper shots in here, and I'll have everything going on in here. Okay. Also, underneath members area, when you become a member, start watching the Full Throttle training. Underneath member, Full Throttle, and start scrolling down, man. You can go to, options, session 1. Click older entries here. Go back to session 1. Right here, man. investing basics, full throttle session 2, options basic, calls, puts, the trade plan, and then obviously session 3, session 4. This is where you go. As soon as you become a member, you need to get in there. Okay, Barry, I haven't picked a date yet for the next live ones. I got to look at my schedule. We get a full 50 in here. We'll do another one, and we'll freshen these up. Remember, a call is a call, a put's a put. The full throttle training, the only thing that changes is what's going on in the world and the practical application. So, yeah, I definitely want to do a new one of these. But I'm telling the new folks, when you join, go in here and start watching the existing full throttle training. Okay? Yeah, like I said, I can brief lifetime, later in the month or next month or something like that. But no lifetime memberships right now. Just focus on getting on board, do your annual membership, and then we can talk about upgrading into lifetime down the road. Really interesting watching because I'm dying to do a sniper shot right now, but if you notice, I haven't. Why? Because we're in a hover right now. I don't shoot a sniper on a hovering SPX because it's gambling. I don't gamble. Can't stand gambling. But look at the SPX today. Just kind of, here's the open. Little down at the open, up, down. That ain't sniper for me, man. That's way too tight. The market is ready to do something. It's either going to break higher or lower, and I don't like flipping coins. So if you've noticed, I haven't taken a sniper this morning like I did yesterday because there's big movement. Cash is a position, man. Remember, one more time before we go, this is no man's land. In between this 50-day moving average and 100-day moving average, the market ain't going to like being in here. We get an Israeli attack and it's pretty ugly. We might see an implosion down to the 100-day moving average. We don't see anything, or they just kind of do a little whatever. We're going to snap back up to this 50-day, and I'll be ready to do it. If you join right now and get your annual membership, you will be in the hunters and you will get my sniper trades immediately. That's the other reason we have the hunters is I don't send out email alerts on the sniper shots. They're too quick. They're in here and they're placed live. This is a live feed going on here. Okay. So we're going to get a snap one way or another. And when it breaks, that's when I fire. I don't gamble. You're welcome. Absolutely. Yep. Nobody else does this. Nobody, you go to some of the stuff, folks, they give you 102 PowerPoint slides and show you old trades and say, become a member and then I'll show you what I do. I don't do that. A lot of people give me shit in the industry for, dude, why don't you at least charge for your full throttle week? I'm like, because it's free. That's my trial. This is their trial. They get a 4-day trial at full throttle. If you can't figure out if you want to hang out with us after a couple of days, that's on you. So, all right. Any other question? You can always email me, Wiz, WHIZ at Top Gun Options. Tomorrow, I'm going to dig deeper into getting long-term bullish on Microsoft and Amazon. Today, I wanted to get that volatility on, take profits on the current volatility trade, get a new one on in case something happened in the next 24 hours. If between today and tomorrow Israel attacks, that volatility trade is going to print some money and then get ready to get bearish. I'm going to teach you how to dogfight, folks. I'm going to teach you how to dogfight volatility. Get bullish, get bearish. And this isn't hard, right? None of that was hard. If it was hard, I sucked it as being an instructor. A little bit of elbow grease, though, folks. Take the full throttle training, look at your manuals, get to the live trade briefs, paper trade in your simulated account. And once you feel comfortable, man, I'll throw that Top Gun Options patch on your shoulder. Okay. Yeah, the link's in the chat box. And then it takes me about, 30, 40 minutes for this replay to render, and I'll post it on the replay page. Doug, you're welcome. Absolutely. All right, guys, I got to go. I went about 19 minutes too long, but during these full throttle weeks, I got to get my shit out of the way at the beginning and then do the brief. So we went a little long, but that's I'm okay with that. Thursday is the psychedelic stuff. We will brief all the psychedelic stuff on Thursday. You got a lot of research to do. I gave you some homework to do. Make sure you're watching. Or go to the No Fallen Heroes page now and start looking at the content. This is the one I would definitely watch. You know what? I'm glad I just said this. I caught this. This episode is a must watch because there are some potential threats in the psychedelic space, and one of them obviously is big pharma and the insurance industry. So my last podcast, the link is in the chat box. This is, you got to watch this one, because I red team the clinical trials and talk about potential threats to our psychedelic trades. That is a must watch before Thursday. Everybody give me a vertical head nod that you just heard that. Period. Yeah, see you, Daniel. So this is a must watch, folks. If you want to invest in the psychedelic space, I brief the potential threats. Okay. All right, good stuff. You're welcome. All right, guys, I got to get going. I'll get the replay posted here shortly. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged, which you are now. Fights on. Namaste. And basi basi. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.